Leo, something unexpected is about to unfold in your home, and right after you return, good fortune will be waiting. This isn't just any moment. This is the moment. You didn't click on this video by accident. You were led here. And deep down, I believe part of you already senses it. That shift in the air. That inner tug. That quiet voice asking, what's about to change? Leo, if lately you felt something stirring beneath the surface, an uneasiness in your space, emotions surfacing out of nowhere, or signs that feel too precise to dismiss, then know this. The universe is moving, and it's moving through your home. What's coming isn't to punish you. It's to position you. Sometimes, it takes a disturbance in our most familiar place, the space we eat, sleep, love, and hide, to wake us up to the blessings that have been waiting in silence. And on November 2nd, that's exactly what might happen. Something will shift. It may be a conversation, a message, a physical disruption, or a revelation you weren't expecting. And when it happens, it may rattle you. But I need you to hear this clearly. It will not break you. It will break open the next version of you. Now take a breath. Sit with that. There's a sacred rhythm to divine timing. And whether you believe in God, the stars, or simply the unseen threads that tie everything together, the truth is, there are moments when the universe comes a little closer. This is one of them. When the wind starts to blow through places you thought were sealed shut. When a door creaks for the first time in years. When silence feels louder than words. That's not chaos. That's calling. I've seen it again and again, people on the edge of change mistaking it for collapse. But Leo, you are not collapsing. You are being recalibrated. So if you've been feeling unsettled in your own space, like your sanctuary isn't quite at peace, that's not random. That's alignment whispering through the walls. The spiritual world often shakes our physical one to get our attention. And if you're here right now, you've already heard the first knock. Leave a comment below with the words, "I'm ready," if your spirit resonates with this message. That's not just for the algorithm. That's your declaration to the universe that you're awake and listening. Let me pause and say thank you for being here. For showing up. For making space in your day to receive something that could truly shift your path. Every like, every comment, every subscriber keeps this sacred circle growing, and your presence here, right now, means more than you know. But more importantly, it means something is opening for you. You'll want to stay with me through every moment of this video, because what's coming is remarkable. And I believe you'll leave this message not only with insight, but with confirmation that yes, you are on the right path. That yes, the divine sees you. And yes, what's been stuck is about to move. So tell me, Leo, what did you feel? What did you pray? What intention did you send out into the universe that brought you here today? Because something very real is waiting to answer. Leo, sometimes all it takes is one phone call to change the shape of a day, a life, a legacy. One moment, you're standing in your kitchen making coffee, thinking it's just another Thursday. The next, your entire reality pivots and the air in your home suddenly doesn't feel the same. That's how life works when divine timing meets cosmic precision. And on November 2nd, that's the kind of shift you may experience. Not because something is broken, but because something deeply meaningful is ready to be revealed. Let's talk about the sky that day. The moon, moving through Virgo, draws attention inward not in a dreamy or escapist way, but in a practical, almost surgical manner. Virgo moons ask us to look at our patterns, our spaces, and our responsibilities. They don't just bring clarity, they demand it. That's why this energy, in itself, is powerful. But paired with a direct aspect to Uranus in Taurus, that's when things get interesting. Uranus doesn't knock. It bursts in. It disrupts, especially when it touches matters of the home, the body, our belongings, or family structures. So if you feel like your sense of safety is being stirred, don't panic. It's not destruction. It's an invitation to rebuild on truth. Now add to that Mercury the messenger aligning with Pluto, the planet of shadow and transformation. This is the day secrets come up from the floorboards. Truths that were buried beneath politeness, silence, or fear may finally find their voice. You might hear something you weren't supposed to, see something that can't be unseen, or feel the presence of something shifting, a silent agreement finally unraveling. It might happen through a text, a memory, a sudden conversation in your hallway. But it will be real. And it will be timed to the second. It's no accident that November 2nd, 2025, also holds the vibrational number 13 in numerology. A number so misunderstood, often feared, yet in truth, it is a sacred number of transformation, death and rebirth, completion and beginning. The caterpillar doesn't mourn the cocoon, it trusts the process. What's been crumbling in your inner world may now start to crack in your outer one. The living room that once felt like a comfort may now feel cluttered. The silence in your bedroom may no longer soothe but echo with unresolved feelings. That's okay. Environments remember everything. Energy imprints itself into walls, objects, corners, and when the vibration of a home shifts, it's the first sign that your inner alignment is moving too. Think of this like lightning. It doesn't wait for permission. It strikes, and in doing so, it illuminates. Not to burn the room, but to show you what's really inside it. The law of attraction teaches us that we draw in what we've been vibrating all along, not from last night, but from months, even years ago. So if something now enters your space unexpectedly, it's not an attack. It's a return. A reflection of a decision, a longing, or an energetic thread you've sent out into the cosmos long before you could make sense of it. Pause with that. Reflect. Has your home or your sense of peace within it felt unstable lately? Has your body, your safe space, your relationships in that space begun to shift? If you've noticed any of this, write in the comments below, "I've felt it coming." It's a simple act, but it's a powerful one. Because naming a shift out loud gives it shape. It's how we begin to hold space for what's next. What's important now is not to fear the change but to recognize that you're already strong enough to meet it. What's coming may feel sudden, but it's been arriving for a long time. And now that it's here, you're not alone. You're not lost. You're being realigned. And that is a blessing in disguise. Sometimes life doesn't gently tap you on the shoulder. It hits the floor like a dropped glass, shattering the quiet, demanding your attention. That's exactly what this moment feels like, especially when we step into the energy revealed through the 3 cards, Knight of Swords, the Tower, and 5 of Pentacles. Each of them alone is powerful, but together, they point to a moment that can feel like a personal storm, especially when it arrives in the place you're meant to feel safest, your home. I've seen it in real life. A woman who thought she had her week mapped out to the hour: meetings, chores, dinner plans, got one phone call and ended the day in tears, standing in a room that didn't feel like hers anymore. The Knight of Swords doesn't wait. It bursts in. That's what this card means when it shows up first. It's about information, news, or confrontation that doesn't ask for permission to arrive. And it's often a mirror of something you've unconsciously summoned through thoughts you've repeated and energy you've stored in your physical space. Then comes the Tower. Now this card tends to get a bad reputation, but let me be honest with you, it doesn't destroy what is real. It only knocks down what's no longer sustainable. When this energy shows up in your reading and in your life, it's because the truth has become louder than your coping mechanisms. It's often centered around where we live, who we live with, or the foundations we've built our life on. And when the Tower appears connected to your home, it might mean a disruption, yes, but also a wake-up call that clears space for something truer. You might discover something you weren't meant to know, or maybe something you've always known deep down but never allowed into the light. Now, the Five of Pentacles can feel isolating. It brings up rejection, loss, and vulnerability. But I've learned through both tarot and lived experience that this card is not the end. It's the middle. It's the point in the movie where the main character is walking through the rain not because they're doomed, but because they're on their way to the scene that changes everything. Sometimes, in order to restore what's real, the false piece must fall away. And sometimes that falling apart happens in the very room you used to find comfort in. If you felt like the energy in your space has shifted lately, things breaking, sleep interrupted, old memories resurfacing, a sense of discomfort with no clear reason, that's not your imagination. Your environment often reflects your internal transformation before you're ready to name it. This is why the law of attraction teaches us not just to visualize, but to clean. To clear space literally and energetically for what we are calling in. So take this as a loving invitation: open the windows. Move the furniture. Throw something out. Let your physical space mirror the shift you're stepping into. Not because you're afraid, but because you're ready. What breaks now is likely something you've outgrown long ago. That argument you didn't see coming, that secret that slips out, that object that falls and shatters. It might sting, yes. But it's also the sound of your new chapter echoing through the halls. Take a moment. Reflect. And if something inside you whispered yes while reading this, leave a comment below that says, "I've felt it coming." Because naming it aloud grounds it. It means you're no longer avoiding what's approaching, you're walking toward it with open eyes. That alone changes everything. There's a moment that comes after the storm, the kind that isn't loud, but still shakes you just the same. It's not about destruction anymore, it's about standing in the quiet, looking around, and realizing you're still here. Changed, maybe. Wounded in places you didn't expect. But standing. And when that moment arrives, what matters most is what you choose to do with it. This is where the cards shift. From chaos to clarity. From rupture to restoration. Justice appears not as punishment, but as realignment. And let me say this gently, from experience, justice doesn't always come wrapped in an apology from the person who hurt you. Often, it arrives through a chance to reclaim what was taken from you: your peace, your power, your voice. This card suggests that something once unfair, dismissed, or mishandled will now come back around. Maybe not in the same form, but in a way that brings closure or reward. It could show up in paperwork finally resolved, an old debt repaid, or simply a sense of internal balance being restored after a long time walking uneven ground. Then comes the Three of Pentacles, and this is where healing begins to feel tangible. It's the reminder that you're not meant to do this part alone. Support will come, but often from where you least expect it. Maybe it's a conversation with someone you thought had forgotten you. Maybe it's a stranger offering kindness that catches you off guard. Or maybe, most powerfully, it's the version of yourself you thought was gone stepping back in and saying, "Let me help you now." Healing rarely happens in isolation. And you, Leo, are someone who often feels the need to be strong for others, but this is a time to allow others to show up for you, too. The Six of Cups softens the energy. It brings memory, nostalgia, and yes, the potential return of something or someone from your past. But here's the truth, it's not about repeating the old story. It's about rewriting the ending. Sometimes we need to revisit a moment we thought had closed, not to re-enter it, but to finally make peace with it. Whether it's a person, a feeling, or a place that once held both beauty and pain, you now have the clarity to approach it with new eyes. And if forgiveness is a part of that journey, whether for them or for yourself, know that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from carrying the weight of a story that no longer defines you. Astrologically, Venus moving through Libra during this time emphasizes harmony in relationships. It nudges us to reevaluate what's fair, what's balanced, and what's been one-sided for too long. If you felt the scales tipping in a dynamic emotionally, financially, energetically, this is when things begin to even out. But only if you're willing to speak the truth of what you need. So here's a gentle practice. Write a letter to someone who hurt you. You don't have to send it. Just write. Let the words flow uncensored. And when you're done, fold it, bless it, and burn it or bury it. That act alone creates space for new energy to enter. Light a candle. Place flowers in a space that once held heaviness. Let your home know it's safe to feel light again. And if something in your chest feels seen right now, say it out loud. Type in the comments, "I deserve restoration." Because you do. Because you've carried enough. And because the universe is already aligning what's yours to return, not out of pity, but because it's time. Justice doesn't forget. Healing doesn't skip. And grace? Grace always finds its way back to those who stayed soft, even in the hardest seasons. Love has a strange way of circling back when we least expect it, especially when we've quietly decided we don't need it anymore. That's the thing about the Ace of Cups. It doesn't knock politely. It overflows. It brings an emotional wave that catches you mid-thought, mid-routine, mid-defense. You could be washing dishes, scrolling your phone, or sitting in silence, and suddenly, something shifts. A softness enters the space. A memory. A longing. Or maybe a feeling you haven't allowed yourself to feel in a long time, hope. And when the lover shows up alongside it, it's more than romance, it's choice. Not between people, but between old wiring and new ways of being. Between staying guarded or opening. Between familiar pain and unfamiliar joy. Because to love again, in any form, romantically, platonically, even self-love, means choosing to risk being changed. And Leo, you know better than most how deeply love can carve its initials into the walls of your heart. That's why you're cautious now. That's why it takes something sincere to break through. Enter the Knight of Cups. This energy doesn't crash in. It approaches with quiet sincerity. Someone may be watching you more closely than you realize, not in a way that intrudes, but in a way that waits. Someone who notices the way you light up when you're passionate. Someone who sensed your healing and felt drawn to your light. It could be a person you've known for a while but never truly seen in this light. Or someone returning, hoping this time, the timing fits. Or maybe, most importantly, it's you finally willing to speak kindly to yourself again. There's an emotional rebirth happening here. And that rebirth is sacred. It's not about rushing into declarations or grand gestures. It's about choosing to feel again. To stop numbing. To let yourself smile when something beautiful happens, without immediately waiting for it to fall apart. The law of attraction doesn't just respond to what you want, it responds to what you believe you're worthy of. So if love is knocking, ask yourself, have you been opening the door, or only pretending to? This is the time to clear space for it. Play music that opens your chest, not just your ears. Sit down with a pen and list 10 truths that affirm what you know you deserve in love. Speak them aloud. Feel how your energy shifts just from stating them. That's magnetism. That's alignment. That's you becoming a match to the kind of love that doesn't need to be chased because it naturally finds its way to you. If you've ever been the one to give more, forgive first, or stay longer than you should have, let this chapter be different. Let it be mutual. Let it be steady. Let it be kind. If you're still carrying pain from a love that didn't last, remember this: healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means releasing the weight of what was, so you have room to receive what could be. And when it arrives, you'll know, not because it's loud or overwhelming, but because it will feel like something inside you finally exhaling after holding its breath for too long. So let me ask you this, and really pause before answering. Who's the first person that came to your mind when I said, someone is getting closer than ever before? If there's a name, a face, or even just a feeling, honor it. Leave a symbol in the comments, something that only you will recognize. Sometimes, that small act of acknowledgement is what allows the energy to move forward. And if no one came to mind yet, that's okay. Maybe the love that's arriving is still taking shape, but your heart already knows how to recognize it when it comes. Stay open. Stay ready. And above all, stay soft. By now, you've probably realized this isn't just another reading. This is a threshold. And every threshold requires not just awareness but movement. That's what these cards are telling you. They're not here to predict your fate, they're here to show you that the future is already forming and it's waiting for your participation. The Magician appears first for a reason. It reminds you that you already hold the tools. You're not waiting on an external rescue. The ingredients for your breakthrough are already in your hands, you just need to believe enough to use them. And right behind it comes the sun, like a clear sky after weeks of heavy rain. This is the joy that follows resilience, the clarity that comes only after walking through confusion. It doesn't promise that every piece will fall into place at once, but it does confirm that the shadows have lifted enough for you to see where to go next. The sun never rushes you. It simply stands there, radiating warmth, waiting for you to step into it. Then we meet the world. The card of completion, not the ending of everything, but the end of a cycle that you've outgrown. The version of you that needed to survive is now ready to evolve. And evolution asks for one thing, that you don't cling to what used to define you. This is the moment when the old storyline, the one where you were always waiting, always reacting, always playing small, gets to close. And a new one begins. But it's the trio that follows Judgment, Ace of Wands, and the Chariot that demands action. Judgment is your wake-up call. That subtle nudge you've been feeling? That urge to clean, to reach out, to begin again? It's not random. It's your higher self tapping on your shoulder, saying, it's time. The Ace of Wands comes in like a spark. A flame of inspiration that doesn't wait around. And then there's the Chariot movement, momentum, the decision to get behind the wheel of your life instead of watching from the passenger seat. Let's get practical. This energy is fire, yes, but it needs to be grounded. Write down 3 things you know you must do to change the direction of your life. Not vague intentions, clear, aligned actions. Then speak them out loud. Record your voice if you have to. Play it back every morning like a mantra. Say, I am ready for wealth. I am ready for love that honors me. I am ready to lead my life. Because here's the truth, manifestation doesn't happen in the clouds. It happens when what you say, think, feel, and do finally line up. The law of attraction at this level isn't about wishing, it's about vibrating. And vibration shifts through choice. Through discipline. Through faith in motion. One small consistent action, done with belief, carries more magnetic power than 100 hours of waiting in doubt. So, I want you to imagine what happens after November 2nd. Imagine you walk out of this cosmic event with a sense of clarity. What's the first thing you'll do? Will you send the email you've been avoiding? Sign up for the class? Change how you speak to yourself in the mirror? Whatever that action is, it matters more than you think. It is not just symbolic, it's energetic. It's your confirmation to the universe, I'm not just listening. I'm moving. Now pause for a moment. Ask yourself honestly, what action is mine to take right now? And when you know, when you feel it in your body, even if it scares you, type it in the comments. Let that be your first step. Let that be the key that opens the gate. The gate to the life you've always known was meant for you, just on the other side of your fear. Leo, no one else can walk through that door for you. The universe may have prepared the path, aligned the timing, and even placed signs in your home, your heart, and your quiet thoughts, but it's still your feet that must move forward. No guide, no prophecy, no reading, no matter how precise, can replace the moment you choose to say yes to the life that's been waiting on the other side of your fear. And that's the truth I want you to leave with today. You see, November 2nd isn't just a date. It's a moment of alignment. A crossroad. A whisper from the future calling out to the version of you who's already ready, already worthy, already powerful. Maybe you've been waiting for confirmation. Maybe you've been waiting for a sign. But what if the waiting was actually delaying the exact miracle you've been praying for? So I want you to pause now, really pause, and ask yourself, what door have I been afraid to open? Is it a conversation I've been avoiding? A dream I've been pushing to someday? A version of myself I keep postponing because I don't feel quite ready? And then ask this, what might shift if I opened it today? You already know the answer. It's not about sudden perfection. It's about presence. Progress. The small brave act of choosing not to shrink anymore. And it starts with you honoring what you've heard in this space today, not just by feeling inspired, but by deciding to act on what spoke to you most deeply. Maybe for you, it's writing that letter. Or finally making that room in your house a sacred space instead of a storage room. Maybe it's telling someone you love them. Or maybe it's telling yourself you're worth loving again. Whatever it is, I encourage you not to let it stay inside you. Speak it. Move with it. Claim it. And if anything today truly touched you, if even one sentence made you stop and breathe more deeply, don't let that pass you by. Let it be your sign. Type in the comments, "I open the door." Say it not for me, but for yourself and for the energy that's been waiting for your permission to move. Before you go, let me say thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. For choosing to give your attention to something meaningful, something real. Every like, every comment, every subscriber brings light into this shared space and fuels this mission of helping you return to yourself. You're not just a viewer. You're part of the Eternal Mindfulness family. And your presence here? It matters more than you know. So if this video gave you clarity, if it reminded you of your power, or if it made you feel just a little less alone, please like, share, and subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness. That simple act keeps this light glowing, and helps more hearts find their way home, just like you did today. Now, take a deep breath, Leo. You've come far. You're right where you need to be. And the door? It's open.